Welcome into the Huntsman Center, Dusty Litzner, Dane Stewart, and one of our favorites, Coach Jeff Gardner, the head coach of the Skyridge Falcons, who knows these teams really, really well. We get ready for the semifinal. It is Pleasant Grove and American Fork. And Coach PG, they ran through, well, it was a bumpy road down the stretch, but this team has found its legs once again in the state tournament.
Pleasant Grove is really good, well coached. McCaden Adams is my vote for 6A Player of the Year. He does it all. Great on the offensive and defensive end, and they've had a great season, region champs.
And Dane, this American Fork team, we talk about finding their legs. Second half of the year, AF has played extremely well.
They have really physical team, really tough team. You look at a guy like Ashton Wallace in the paint, a junior. He's been so solid for them. And they've got a young core here because you look at like Aaron Dunn, a junior, Adam Rosson, who's a senior. He's got a younger brother, another Rosson coming. Evan Young is a young guy. This is a team that's been kind of gelling as the year has gone on. They're playing really good basketball in the state tournament right now. They're gritty, they're physical, they can push it, they can also slow it up. They can really meet whatever style the other team presents, and it'll be a good challenge today for the Vikings.
And Jeff, you know these both so well. What are two keys for each team to get a win tonight?
You know, Pleasant Grove does a really good job in passing lanes and ball pressure. The first round, they turned Mountain Ridge over 24 times, and we had a hard time getting into any offense in that first quarter of our game. That's a big key for American Fork. They got to take care of the ball. And then it's going to be a second big key is going to be the rebounds. Both teams are big and strong, and I think American Fork is really good on the boards. Pleasant Grove's a little undersized. They're going to have to keep them off the offensive glass.
Can I give you one fun one? Whoever's not in the bonus, 6 minutes, we'll see, at the 6 minute mark in the second quarter, you might have a good shot.
You know, I always tell my guys coming into this kind of game, the refs don't want to call fouls. So be physical, make them blow their whistles, and we've got a really good crew tonight. Nick Shields, who's one of the best. Greg Spencer, I think is, for the last 16 years I've coached, is a top official. And I can't see the third guy, but I'm sure he's good.
Brad Greenland.
Brad Greenland is really good as well. So it's going to be a good crew tonight, and they're going to need to be on their game because this game could be really physical with both teams liking to play a rough, gritty style of basketball.
When the TV window opens, that's when we play. Everyone's kind of out of the mode. We stay out of the way, but you know, deal with satellite uplink trucks, we got a little bit different.
The TV adds a dynamic. You get the replay on the board, which is gonna, the fans love to see that charged block call and break it down. You also get the media timeouts, which is a big advantage. Under 4 minutes, you get a chance to have a free timeout. So you want to be really cautious to save your timeouts. I thought Dan Lunt did a great job in the first game, having those 4 or 5 timeouts that he could use late in the game to set up his defense or to break a press. And the media timeouts help you do that. But man, I'm excited. This is going to be a good basketball game.
They also help you get nervous because you are waiting for the tip for media to come back, huh?
Well,
we got the coach handshake over there, you know. Let me tell you about Randy McAllister. He came to Pleasant Grove. They hadn't won a region game the year before, and takes a program that had been really, really bad for a while and turns them into one of the top programs in the state. He's been to 3 state championships. He's still looking for that first one. He's undefeated in semifinal games, so he's been here and he's won it.
And we'll go through some of those years in the semifinals because 7 and last. Well, you say he's undefeated in semifinals? I got undefeated, or I got him in 6.
Rawson likes to get you up the lane, Dusty. He wants to post and push 33 up to the free throw line so he can score on a little drop step. We always told our guys you got to stay below him and make him score over you. He's physical and strong inside, and especially if he can get that drop step.
Ashton Wallace has turned it on late in the year. That ball comes off the rim, and Michael Minton, Dan will know, I say it all the time, 22 is the guy you lose, and he kills you.
My comment on Minton is he's a problem. He's fast on the dribble. You got to make him shoot the 3, but he is really good cutting off the ball. One thing Pleasant Grove does a great job, we call that the quick roll there. 33 will screen Garrett and quick roll. You have to stay down on Garrett. We spent 3 days with Bryson Bailey telling him, stay down on his shot fakes, stay down on his shot fakes. He's so good on those shot fakes. He got one there.
And he was really good in the quarter, too. Isaac Garrett did everything for PG.
Including knocking down threes.
Let's not talk about the quarterfinals. Let's stick to that first round.
And Ashton Wallace. Look, the first time I got to see Ashton Wallace this year was against Duncanville. They were the #1 team in the nation. The guy that was undaunted from the tip of that game was Ashton Wallace. He scored the first 8 points of that game.
Wallace has had a really good second half of region when AF's turned it on. He's found his confidence and he's played good. He also is a really good cutter off the ball. Watch on the post feeds him cut. Hanks, you don't want to leave Hanks. He can shoot the three, and they did a good job, Moiai, closing out and getting to him there. I'll tell you what, Noah Moiai is just, I'm going to mispronounce his name. Moiaki is as good as they come in high school basketball. He can score, he can guard. And I think one thing that was so impressive last year, he was hurt, yet he was there at every practice, every game, a part of the team, leading, and here he is in the semifinals getting a chance to shine.
Evan Young can't hang on that pivot foot, and it's a turnover. We've seen it already, and this is our 4th semifinal game of the day, Dane. The early energy, being able to handle it early on.
I'll tell you what, Evan Young's a great on-ball defender out front. He puts pressure on you. He makes you change direction. He doesn't gamble, but he's just always there. And Pleasant Grove is, Randy McAllister loves that back door. Usually they run that for Adams. Here they run it for Minton, which is interesting because, Minton's going to have a little bit more gap with his defender than McCaden would. McCaden, the thing in this game, we're going to hardly recognize him yet. We're going to look up and he's going to have 20 points. And he's the smartest defender out here. He'll switch. Here he comes on a switch. And he's just a smart defender. He'll step just like that, make the right play, and now he leads to a run out.
And it goes to Hanks. And Hanks off the mark on the bunny. That's that early moments, Dane.
I was surprised Javernier didn't take that shot. He was wide open, and that's been an item for y'all where feels like, man, you get that confidence, right, and you can get rolling, but an early moment there where he missed an opportunity.
Here's why McCaden Adams, my 6A player of the year. Not only is he lead the state in scoring, he's one of the smartest defenders I've ever seen. There he steps forward, takes the charge, understands what he's trying to do there, and I'm telling you, he's a really, really good player. And Coach McAllister has been riding him for 2 or 3 years now, and does a good job.
You want to know how I know you're close to Coach McAllister?
Oh, here comes the slip. Good play.
You know, I know you're close to Coach McAllister. You went verbatim exactly what he said about McAdams. Is again, we've learned in the state tournament, they're not calling anything close to the rim. And there's Evan Young. I call him the Bobby Hurley of Utah high school basketball. He's unafraid to stick his nose in with anyone, so he ties that ball up.
You know what I love about that? Garrett was one with the tie-up, and he just stood there. I mean, it was like, look, you guys want to be physical? We'll be physical too.
Adams coming back to the rim here. Oh, good defense by Wallace.
As Adams circles back out, top of the key three, just a little short. Rebound to Ross, and here comes Noah Moiaki. One of the best stories in this high school basketball season is Moiaki being able to come back from multiple knee injuries. He signed to play football at BYU, but last 2 years, ACL injuries. He was part of the state championship team.
Shoulders too.
Yeah.
Most kids got their D1 football scholarship. They get injured their junior year, and it's kind of like, all right, we're moving on. And talk about the character of Noah to lead and do. That's bang.
He might be a little amped up. At least it was straight away to kiss off the window.
Evan Young can shoot. I'm telling you, we always scouted him as make him bounce because he's a very good catch and shoot 3-point shooter. McAllister loves this 5-out. On this 5-out stuff, that wing guy is going to really cut. So 24 is going to curl or back cut on that wing to top cut almost every time, and they love to circle into McCaden on the post.
McCaden backing Wallace down, and there's the bucket.
It'll be interesting if they keep Wallace on Adams or whether they put one of the bigger, stronger guys. Adams can shoot the three, but his instincts are more to put it on the ground in the mid-range. When he gets a switch on a bigger, slower guy, he loves that crossover right to left pull-up jump shot. And so it'll be interesting if Coach Cuff goes to Moyaki or Rainier, or one of the guys with a little bit more strength with Adams, because he is very good at getting in the post.
Straight away with Rawson. Ollie Anderson dropping in backside. Minton got a strip at first. Comes off the rim. Garrett give it up. Here comes Hanks. And good transition defense from American Fork. It's Anderson. 4-3. Evan Anderson had a terrific quarterfinal. And hadn't seen him shoot the ball that well in the 4 times I saw him as he did the other day.
He could shoot. He was about 70% of his points on threes. Talk about a kid stepping up. Jordan Ross leaves, and man, Anderson's like he's been a 3-year starter himself. He's had a great season.
You can say that about a lot of this roster. Dylan Jones leaving, right? Like, they've had some turnover, and yet they find themselves in the semi.
And little Rawson playing like his older brother.
What it's allowed them to do is it's allowed Adams and Minton and Garrett to all expand their game, but I can't wait to talk about Rawson. Did you see that hustle play right there?
We got to come back to that, though.
Yeah. I love the Rawson family.
We'll see.
I love the Rawson family. Here's why.
Yeah, Tyler is so much fun.
They are the best kids, the hardest workers, and they're just gritty, good basketball players. And I told him after the line in our game, I go, please tell me that you're the last one.
And there's one more.
And he said, no, I got one more brother. They are just an incredible basketball family. They're going to be one of those families that we're going to be here 20 years from now talking about the Rawsons and what they did at American Fork. And it's been fun to watch that family, get after it on the hardwood. A lot of state tournament games between those brothers.
Well, you think of the Rawsons, and you have a good family in your bloodlines, or your coaching lines, the Miller family.
The Millers are incredible. I get to Brighton and I got Brandon and Brock Miller, and all of a sudden I look like I know a thing or two about basketball. Those guys make a coach look smart.
You always expect to win, so when a game doesn't go your way, it's a little tough to handle.
Yeah, the Millers are. We always joke that they had, Brett Miller, their dad, had shoot first up on the kitchen counter, because those kids were great shooters. And what made them great shooters is they know how to go get their shots. Sometimes you got great shooters who can't go get a shot. So it's like, okay, you're a great shooter, but Brandon Miller and Brock Miller were some of the greatest shot creators and shot makers that we've seen in this state.
And of course, talk about the Rawsons. The brother Tyler Rawson was a 3-year starter at least at American Fork, played with Andrus and Bailey and Spencer Johnson. And we did so many of those games back in the day. And I would always tell Dane, to Vince Francis, Tyler Rawson, he and
four low, they like
so
the clear out right here. They throw it in and let that post guy go to work.
Moyaki sent up top. Ashton Wallace goes back outside to Young.
What makes PG good is they can switch defenses. Here they're in a 2-3. I think you got to find the high post.
Probably Rawson rather, thought he could get that ball underneath, and no, they're going to give the carry there to Young as Anderson sends back up top. And Coach McAllister always says in his 2-3, always long guys.
What makes Coach Mack a great coach is his ability to switch defenses.
Ollie Anderson, a rare two-pointer for Ollie Anderson.
I don't think we'll see the 2-3 coming back the other way.
Yeah, you're not going to get a little nervous on that last step there from McCaden Adams. It'll be a 2-shot foul as McCaden will go to the line.
Here's what makes McCaden, another reason that makes him such a great player. He is so good at drawing fouls. I would always tell the ref, hey, if we're going to call a foul every time his head snaps, we're going to shoot a lot of free throws tonight, because he just has an innate ability to get in the lane and kind of contort his body.
Did he grow up watching Preston Sanchez?
Oh, don't remind me about Preston. I have nightmares of him dribbling by my guys. Preston was talk about a problem. Preston was hard to guard away from the basket. He was so quick and good with the ball. Coach Blanchard, if you were down in the fourth quarter with Preston Sanchez and Hoffman, you were in trouble. Great cut.
Oh, what a cut by Ashton Wallace and the young junior. As we talk about, just come on, Dane, here at the end of the year. Ashton Wallace has just continued to get better.
Yeah, he has. I really like the versatility of his game. And, I just feel like this AF team, 14-12, right? Like the way they've come on, and it feels like it's just been this unified effort, because it might be Wallace one night, it might be Anderson one night, and there's just different guys that contribute in different ways. I just feel like it's such a tough team to deal with.
Guys, they're the most underseeded team in RPI history.
Ever.
We need to in the RPI, we need to discard out-of-state games. Like they played the hardest schedule by a mile. I think
two number one teams in the country.
Yeah,
they played Duncanville and they played Montverde and then Kimball.
You don't get the credit for playing those teams because, like all 23-2 teams are not created equal.
Right.
And so they're not a 10 seed. They're not a 14-12 team as far as like standards of what most 14-12 teams look like in Utah.
We only got a few more of these left. As they're allowed. Here goes Evan Young pulling on the three. No. Wallace going to pull down the rebound. Here comes McCaden Adams.
Here comes the...
Adams hangs. Garrett's in the corner. Anderson at the horn.
Big shot.
Evan Anderson, second three.
Unselfish play. Take the extra pass, open look, drill it.
At the end of one, it is Pleasant Grove 12, American Fork 8. You're watching the 2022 6A semifinals on KSLSports.com, your home for online championships.
For the Vikings, number 22.
Start of the second quarter, Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart, and Coach Jeff Garner.
See how Pleasant Grove denies those wings. Not a lot of teams in Utah put that kind of wing denial on you. It forces your kids to have to pop up and get you out of your spots on offense.
Ollie Anderson going to send out to Evan Young.
American Fork likes to run a 4-out, 1-in motion.
Oh, and there goes, again, the take and finish, Ashton Wallace. And that gives Ashton 6 points here in the first half.
Always out of a quarter. Timeout. Coach McAllister has really good stuff he runs. See what he comes to here. Got the little duck in. They're looking for Adams on the duck ends. There he gets it. Good defense.
And there's a steal to Wallace on the push, Moeaki. And they're going to get the foul on McCaden Adams. You talk about drawing fouls, Moeaki was able to get that one in transition. And that'll be the first on McCaden Adams, the first on the Vikings.
The American Fork fans were wondering if the refs were going to call a foul on Pleasant Grove tonight. So it's good to get that one on the board.
He feels like he's got a future in sales. I mean, I don't know a linebacker, tight end, but
hey,
good
get
on
him off balance. Anybody can go down.
Here's the 5-out look. They'll dribble drive out of this. A lot of penetration, not a lot of screening when they go 5-out.
Tiger Cuff enters the game. It was Moeaki pull up, won't go. Isaac Garrett pulls down the rebound. Now down the floor with PG.
Great cut,
Anderson, extra pass, and there's Michael Mitten. Laying out up and in, first points for Mitten.
You know, the cutting of Mitten and Wallace is really impressive.
Here comes Rawson, hangs on it, and Garrett with the swat. On the push, Anderson with the two. Just like John Wood would want it. Ball doesn't touch the floor.
Coach, does PG, it feels like they're playing more up-tempo, up-pace. Is this one of the quicker teams McAllister's had?
He's had some quick teams, but they definitely like to get up and down. It reminds me of our Tuesday game. We got it back to 16-13, and 2 or 3 transition layups later, it was back to 10, and they do a great job getting out and running.
I know we got some people screaming at their phones or screens, anything else. You can hit the backboard as in high school. If you're going for that block, you saw Garrett slap the backboard as Rawson going to get that tie up.
An interesting dynamic, guys. Dunn has been American Fork, one of their best players off the bench, and he rolled his ankle at the end of the last game against Syracuse, and not sure his status tonight, whether he's going to be limited or out, but that's a big loss. There's Evan Young.
Just Evan Young with the rip and Young with the layup. Timeout, Coach McAllister. AF's not going to go away in this one.
It'll be interesting if Coach McAllister has somebody else initiate the offense or try to get Evan Young off the ball a little bit.
Timeout on the floor, 5:50 left in the half. We'll stay here. Want to stay here? So we'll stay here. 2-point lead, and Dane, this is what we thought we'd see. Well, actually a little faster, to be quite honest with you. We were calling it the Black and Blue Bowl in the game before this.
I really thought, AF, I think defensively they've been really stout. Evan Young, I think that's a great example of what he can do, and they can pick up the pace, but I just thought they would, we'll slow it down. We'll kind of, slow bleed this thing, and not that they're going to take time off, but just be very deliberate in their offense. And yet it feels like, coach, they just boom, 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 move the basketball, take shots, and big good looks for AF here early.
When they played 2 weeks ago, American Fork beat them at Pleasant Grove and did a really good job defensively in the half court. And as I watched the film getting ready for our Pleasant Grove game, I kept seeing different American Fork guys and saying, man, I wish I had them to guard, because those guys are really good defensive players. And so I think it's a great adjustment by Pleasant Grove, saying we don't want to play against all 5 of them in the half-court defense. Let's get out and push it, see if we can get something in transition, and then go to our 5 out and spread them out.
So 5:50 left in the half, and what's been a great start and a lot of fun here. I can tell you, I'm not surprised, but kind of surprised. But Evan Anderson, in his 2 games at the Huntsman Center, he's played really, really well. I think the best I've seen him, seen him 4 times this year. And I thought this is the best he's played in a 2-game stretch.
He's been fantastic. And, credit a kid that comes in when it's a big game and the moment's big and plays well. Let's see what Coach McAllister's got out of the timeout. He's usually got a good set here. I'm always ready for a slip or a backdoor on this. The weave, we're going, we call it the zip play. They basically run everyone to the left and let Minton drive that high elbow lane.
Garrett couldn't get the putback to go down. Here comes Wallace, send to the corner. Yauernier, cut off by Garrett. Ollie Anderson will reset the offense up top with Evan Young.
Yau's going to be a fantastic college player. He's strong, he's quick, he's a good shooter, smart, tough.
Is he committed anywhere, do you know?
I know him.
+1 for Yauernier.
I know Air Force has been recruiting him along with other colleges, but he's going to be a steal for whoever gets him, because you're getting a great kid, a great student, a great player, and it'll be fun to watch him the next few years.
His 3rd straight semifinal. His sophomore year he was at Timpview, and then the last 2 years with American Fork.
American Fork, nice little 6-0 run right here, and see if they get the lead here and put a little pressure on Pleasant Grove to match it.
As Rainier gives American Fork the leads, 17-16.
These games are always tough. McAllister likes to run a lot of sets. You want to let your kids play, but you're kind of finding which sets to run. Here's the slip. Oh, good defense by Rawson.
Expected to come. Here comes Hanks. Now drop it into Garrett.
Got to stay down on his fakes.
Garrett got around him. We get a hook or a block, and they're called on the floor.
Ooh, that's an and one. That's an and one.
Wasn't in his habitual shooting motion.
I really like AF defensively. I feel like they've been really stout. I mean, good movement. You've talked about sometimes, Jeff, where they're running slips and screens, and AF's been ready for every one of them. Defensively, they seem locked in.
I'll get Preston, the intern, to start getting us our replays.
Got it.
And a 3 for Evan Anderson. His 2nd 3, 11 points for Evan Anderson.
Wow, what a performance. Look at McCaden almost with a steal there.
Here comes Yao, gonna try to send it out, and Michael Minton nearly with the steal.
If you charted deflections, Davis and Bingham and Pleasant Grove would be your 3 leaders. Those 3 all are really aggressive, good defensive teams.
Moeaki keeps that pivot foot. Here comes Young down the lane. Blocked away by Garrett, but get him with a foul. There'll be 2 free throws coming to Evan Young.
I always think that's a really tough call for an official when the guard drives, and it's tough to tell if there's contact or if he's falling. And Evan does a really good job of drawing fouls and drawing the contact.
You ready for a fun fact?
I love fun facts.
Evan Young's dad was a Timpview T-Bird, was on a state championship team with Quincy Lewis and Michael Ruffner. They won that championship at the Marriott Center in 1989. Both free throws good there from Evan Young.
That dates even me, Dusty. I've been around Utah high school basketball for a long time, but I'd say about 1990 is when I was old enough to remember.
As that ball goes out of bounds. Yeah, well, the funny thing is, you got Ruffner and Lewis teamed up at Lehigh.
Yeah.
Coached by Quincy Lewis.
Quincy's got his son's a really good player. In the next couple of years, he's going to be someone to watch in the state.
Cooper is so good.
Here comes a back screen right here on 22. Good defense, yeah.
So here's outside with the hot shooting Evan Anderson. And now Rawson can get caught with that back arm. Yeah, it's like a pass interference inside the 5-yard line in the Super Bowl. You got to get that arm off the back.
Ryan Cuff has done a really good job defensively with this crew. I mean, like you said, Dusty, they're guarding really hard. They're physical. You got to watch the quick pass to McCaden here. They're always looking for, on that opposite block, they'll go right to him quick if you're not paying attention.
Mitten outside to Garrett. He can hit that. Now Hanks on the drive. Just kept his foot, and there's a fall. Ollie Anderson, offensive foul on Michael Mitten, and things going right here for American Fork, Dean.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, they just keep kind of hanging in there, and it's kind of what I think of with AF. It's like, well, you know, they can get up in the 60s and 70s, but with their defense, like, we're very comfortable winning in the 50s. We're going to slow you up, take you away from what you want to do, and Coach, we've talked about it. Their defense to me is just, it's playing at another level today.
It is, and offensively they're very patient. They're going to limit possessions. You know, they're efficient offensively, but they're not fast by any stretch.
When we talk about Ryan Cuff, former All-American basketball player at Richfield High School.
You got to be careful with McCaden over there on that bottom of the zone. He'll steal that pass if you're not careful. Pleasant Grove gets their bottom guys in the zone really high. The short corners and the high post is where you got to play.
It's a great job by Moeaki shielding off the top side of that zone and creating an entry pass and the quick turnaround.
Come attack at that high post and able to open up that 1-3-1. Is outside McCaden Adams. McCaden going to drive on Ashton Wallace. Hanging on a pivot. His little ball fake. And he got it to go.
Is that
defense?
Is that TJ Haas out there? I remember coaching against him and seeing that a few times. You know, speaking of, if TJ Haas was here tonight, he'd probably already have 20, and you knew if it was a big game what that kid was going to do.
Well, I know Tyler's probably watching. Tyler would say, hey, I did it first. Tyler would have 20, but it would have taken 15 makes. It would have been all twos. We got a foul away from the ball, and that's going to go on Yao Rainier.
My first year coaching, Tyler was a sophomore, and he was the best sophomore I've ever seen. He
and C.J. Wilcox were unreal.
Tell me about it. We had a little trouble at Mountain View getting a lot of wins against those two programs.
Well, that was really the start of the McAllister run.
Yep.
They won Region 1. Their freshman one with CJ was a freshman, CJ and LaShawn. You had Tucker, who's now a coach with Coach McAllister. As their miss, here comes Ashton Wallace.
You know, Randy McAllister's first year, we almost got that one. Randy McAllister's first year, they had a play-in game against Lone Peak to get in the state tournament, and Pleasant Grove beat them. You know, just a great run for Randy, and it's been fun to watch him in the Valley here, and then seeing Ryan Cuff come back and what he's been able to do, and his 3 years at American Fork has been really impressive.
Well, Ryan Cuff, I think he's the only coach with a state championship in Utah at 3 different high schools: Lone Peak, Dixie, and American Fork. Down the barrel. And Young can't get that one, and we'll stay here.
You see there, he got the ball to the corner, and there's space down there. I think that's where you got to go. Here's a triple screen that Ollie's coming off the triple, and then they're going to dive below it.
Ollie Anderson, 4-3.
Ollie had 5 threes against Lone Peak in the middle of region, and he can shoot. You better get out on Ollie. He can stroke.
Well, he had a lot of minutes at the beginning of the year where they're waiting for Moeaki to come back from his knee injury. Oh! Evan Young had to run out.
Ryan Cuff did not like that call.
And I don't blame him.
I was going to say, I don't think that's because it was his son.
That goes on Tiger Cuff, the freshman.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's a tough call because that was a great defensive play. McCaden's coming off the double screen towards the ball. He'll loop and cut off it.
Oh, Evan Anderson off on the 3, backside board to Hanks. Sends out McCaden.
It's kind of a dilemma if you're Ryan Cuff, do you bring in your shooters who aren't as physical and athletic, or do you keep your bigger, stronger guys in there? He's got his shooters in, which makes him a little more vulnerable. He's really got 4 guards out there, and Pleasant Grove's tough to rebound on if you don't have the size to do it. Now they're spacing with 5 out. That's an interesting way to attack it.
Wants to close out this final half, and Ryan Cuff gives me a chance to do what I want to do. Remember, no shot clock in Utah high school basketball. It will come into effect at the end of Saturday night. Be the last time I get to use that.
And next year at this time, Dusty, we'll see scoring go down next year, which is going to surprise you, but it will
Scoring go down?
Scoring will go down next year.
You want to wager a Diet Coke and Diet Pepper?
Yep,
Okay.
I'm in. Scoring will go down next year, but the quality of play will go up.
Moyaki blocked away by Minton, 14 seconds.
It's an interesting time to shoot that one with 14 on the game clock.
Yeah. Ryan didn't want the shot. I'm watching him.
That's why he's holding up 1 right now, right?
Yeah. Just reminding you, 1.
All right, they're going to run Ollie off a double screen here, and then Evan's going to chase right behind him.
Here comes inbound from Tigers, send up top to Evan Young with 12.
Back to the man, great switch.
7 seconds. Goes left, Young to the rim.
Oh!
He should have just jump stopped.
You know what? Here's the thing I said playing pickleball today, because that's what you do when you lose. I think 70% of those calls should be blocks and 80% are called charges. If it's up to me, I say get rid of the charge call.
Yeah.
Make guys hold their ground. I think basketball is one of the few sports that has not made rule changes to help offense. And we probably need to go to halftime. I could talk about this for a while.
Yeah, 2022 game and 1920 rules. But anyway, wipe off the buckets. AF leading 24-23 at the half. You're watching the 2022 6A semifinals. And welcome back into the Huntsman Center. Again, halftime score, American Fork 24, Pleasant Grove 23, Dusty Lister, Dane Stewart, and Jeff Garner. You know, it's funny, we were talking with Coach Sims, and we asked him about referee stuff. We got to hit the way back machine with Jeff Garner. We knew we were around each other, but I don't know if you'll know the moment that you and I became really good friends. We didn't talk after this one, but Vince, go ahead and roll the tape.
Made the first, up by 2. And rolls off, rebound. 10 seconds remaining. Brandon Miller up the floor, only needing 2. Miller down the lane. Miller to Davis Sheree, lays it in. 2 seconds. And a foul? They called a foul. Reminiscent of Connecticut with a foul and now a technical. What a way to finish a great game. This is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Not to be overcritical of the officials, but this is bad. A great job. Davis Shirai makes the layup. They called a phantom call on the baseline, and then teed up Coach Gardner.
We go into
who's
halftime
arguing
with
the call.
8 points, and we're the number 2 ranked team in the state with a returning. We lost in the finals the year before with all our kids back, and we come out, we're down like 20 to a great Weber team with Shank, and we come all the way back. I don't know if we were down.
It was 28-11.
I mean, we were down 20 though, late in the middle of the third. We come all the way back. That last play, Brandon drives, dishes, we score, we tie it up. I'm yelling no foul, and they throw it in, and if you get the angle on the film, we're nowhere near him.
He's like close.
And they
rolls
call
off,
a foul,
rebound.
and the ref obviously just assumed we were still losing and wanted the foul. And now, I've never been kicked out of a game, so I don't want my wife at home to think I got kicked out here. But look at the ref on the left. That's Larry Killups, who is retiring this year. And he is one of the great officials we've had in this state ever. And so I hope Larry has a great retirement. And the official who made the call is a really good official who, it's water under the bridge when I see him, because we all make mistakes, and
Yeah.
and it was a preseason game, so it didn't really matter. But it was. I got a little excited.
Have you ever seen our broadcast of that game?
No.
Vince is gonna get. We'll put that on. We gotta put that on Dropbox for Coach Garrett, because the byline of that whole thing is, "This is just sad, folks." I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe they called the foul first of all, and then the tease. And what people don't remember is Skank missed the first 2 of 4.
Yeah.
Just left the door open, then he made the next 2.
Yeah, he got the 2 free throws on the foul and then 2 on the technical, and I can laugh about it now, but I didn't laugh about it at home that night when I was. James Edward wrote an article and didn't accurately, I thought, describe the foul. He just said we fouled with 2 seconds, and I sent James a little email saying, "Can you add that how we didn't foul?" And the ref got confused on the score. But no, it's what makes high school basketball fun. You never know, like, we go to a play tonight, and you're in Les Mis. We kind of know what's going to happen, and here we are, Pleasant Grove AF, and 1-point game. Somebody's going to make a big shot. Somebody's going to miss a big shot. Our junior year, when I was in high school, we played Orem High here. I think one of the biggest Huntsman Center high school crowds. It was completely full. The lower bowl, we had about 10,000 people here. We led most of the game, and Orem comes all the way back, and at the end, we're up 1, and they have about a 3-foot shot to win, and the kid, it rolls out, and it's amazing, 24 years later, how many people still talk about that, and that's what makes high school really cool. Like,
here's a little tip for you, Coach. If you want a chair to go flying, you really need to grab it and throw it. I mean, Bobby Knight, go watch the tape. It was really kind of a lazy tap. We got to work on that. You'll have plenty of opportunities at Skyridge.
Well, could you make the well, we'll get that in a minute. But what people got to remember is that the foul call, those of you who are Aggie fans, that was Brock Miller.
That was Brock Miller. That was Brock Miller, and he was a sophomore that year, so he was a freshman, the year before. And to brag about that team, that's a team that wins a state championship almost any year.
Right.
And we happened to match up with Lone Peak's really good team that year. But I love that group of kids.
No, this was after.
There it is. Yeah, see, that's.
Yep, there it is.
We need a little more grasp on that.
I'm mad, but I don't want to get tossed. I'm mad, but I don't want to get tossed.
I love my dad standing up there, waving his arms, giving it this. That's a good dad. You know what? When your dad is got your back like that, you appreciate it.
Hey, when you call officials over, do they come? I mean, it kind of feels like, yeah, no, we're good, Coach.
You know what? It's funny, like, being a coach, because I really like officials. Like, when I see them, different events and things, like, I'm not being fake. Like, I really like these guys. And yet on the court, I'm competitive like we all are. And you go home and you're like, man, that wasn't my finest hour. So here's a story for you. I show up, I move into a new ward. I go to church, and up on the stands, Greg Spencer, the ref tonight. And I'm like, oh, please tell me that's not my bishop. And it was. And so here's the top ref in the state is now my bishop. And I think of all the bad moments I had on the court. He's great.
Well, we got a great second half, a 1-point game, and we had to go down memory lane. I didn't know if you'd seen that, so thanks for playing the game with us. As Wallace gives that one up to Moyaki, and Noah gets that one to go.
That's probably going to be the easiest shot all night. A little soft spot in that zone. Moyaki able to hit a little 8-footer.
Went to the 5-out again, which opens up the middle. Great cut by Noah.
The thing you got to remember, Moyaki, is that guy will take the momentum-making bucket and the momentum-stopping bucket when his team's trailing or is starting to fall a little bit. McCaden Adams gets to the rim and finishes.
You better bring help when he dribbles, because he's so good at getting to the rim. What a great drive by Adams.
And I think it's where maybe Coach Cuff's going to miss having an effective version of Dunn. He's the designated biceps guy that AF always has, all the way back to McKay Franson. As that ball goes out of bounds.
Another great cut by Wallace. I mean, some kids just have that instinct to cut at the right time, and Minton and Adams and Wallace are 3 of the best. 4 low. They like to clear Yao out, pop him up high and clear him out.
And it goes low to Hanks with the steal. Hanks had Mitten cut into the hole. Hands back to Anderson.
Let's stay down on fakes.
Mitten got Yao on his hip, and there's a turnover. Thought he'd get the foul call, didn't. Wallace mishandles that.
You know, Coach, with how aggressive AF has been defensively, how do you try to open that up if you're Pleasant Grove?
You know, you've got to do what Adams just did the time before, and you got to get by that first level and make that back level have to help and help the helper, which when Pleasant Grove's been able to get through that top line, the backside help hasn't been as early and efficient for American Fork, but that's easier said than done.
In the corner, Mitten try to lob that into Adams. He tracks it down. Will pull for 3. Backside board, and he'll have a jump ball. Possession arrow is going to belong to American Fork.
You know,
Pleasant Grove.
You love to see a guy like Hanks, who's not overly big, not overly athletic, but so scrappy to chase rebounds down. And I mean, that was just and here you get a possession, which is a point, right? If you're scoring once a possession, point of possession, and what a great hustle play.
It's outside with Hanks. Adams working on Wallace. And you're going to get the foul here on Moyaki's. He came out and got some contact there on Hanks.
You know, I'm of the opinion, keep hands off. Basketball is meant to be played without hands on. I thought that was a great call by Greg Spencer.
So again, 1-point game. It's going to be a tight one. And if you like AFPG stuff, spring will have more. These 2 good baseball programs as well. So outside to Garrett, had a chance to see Darren Henry. Of course, last year AF won the state championship. They won the Last Chance tournament. They hung a banner for winning Last Chance tournament during the pandemic.
Great cut.
Inside, nobody home with Caden Adams.
You know, they're definitely. The play before Adams drives middle, he has an average shot, which you're like, best player in the state, he shoots it, you live. What just a poised play to kick it out to Garrett, let it recycle, and then get the great shot.
Rainier, the wide channel basketball fails him on that one. Down the floor we go. Send out Adams. 4-3.
I'm telling you, Dusty and Dane, you look up, he's got 15 points, and it feels like he's just like not even breaking a sweat out there. This kid is special, and you know, it's kids like that make coaches look smart, because he can play.
Try to lob that in. Hanks with the tip. Ahead Adams. The chase, and McCaden foul from behind by Ollie Anderson. He doesn't like the call. And we'll see if we got a look at it here. We might be a little bit behind.
There's not a team better in the state of doing what Pleasant Grove just did right there. Get a deflection, have that deflection lead to a run out. You know, we told our guys going in, taking care of the ball is #1, because turnovers lead to points with this team, and there's another one.
Tell you, on the Jumbotron in the building, the AF fans did not agree, and if they were in court with Heidemann and Associates, they'd probably have an argument.
McCaden gets them both. Good thing Dane's not running the replay at University of Utah.
Be interesting what Ryan Cuff does offensively, sticking to the 5 out. He doesn't have Rawson in, so he doesn't have a true post player, playing with pretty much 3 guards and 2 forwards out there.
There's Ollie Anderson now on the angle with Evan Young. Now Anderson, if you don't know, Dane started his broadcast career as the replay technician on a broadcast, and on a Jumbotron we showed it a controversial play over and over as Ashton Wallace, a flat-footed 3 beyond the college arc.
That's a big-time shot. Not only the range and distance, but your team's down 6 on the ropes a little bit. Really big-time shot. They're just going to Adams on the post almost every possession.
And Wallace got around him.
Be interesting. I think you've got to move Moyaki on him. Little stronger body, maybe Yao, one of the two. make him, you can't just let him post Wallace, I think, the rest of the half.
And we got a full timeout. We'll take it with him. 3:53 left in the third. You watching the 2022 6A semifinals.
So out of the timeout, Coach Cuff does put Yao on Adams. Great adjustment.
And it's a steal, Yao Rainier. Yao with the dunk.
He wasn't going to have that ball roll off the rim again.
And now a warning on delay game.
What a dunk. In the warm-up lines, looking at AF when we played them, I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know how we're going to beat this team with their athleticism and their number of guys that could do things like that above the rim.
So 32-31. As Evan Anderson hands off to McCaden Adams. Hanks. Now over to Anderson. And Evan will go back up top to Garrett. Tanner Hanks inside.
Great
Anderson.
defense.
Good job there by Moyaki. And now the foul to Michael Minton.
Noah Moyaki is so good. To see that cut and to get there from the weak side corner and then be vertical, knowing that Anderson's, doesn't have the size to score over him if he gets there. That was a spectacular defensive play right there. Interesting sub here, get Noah and Evan out at the same time.
And we come in with Tiger Cuff and Ollie Anderson. And there's Rawson. Rawson has a pass to the hoop, cut off by Garrett.
I would watch Adams jump in a passing lane, getting a steal here.
Rawson back out. Rainier saves it in the hands of Anderson.
You take out your two best ball handlers.
And it's a freshman versus a senior.
With Pleasant Grove's defense and the way they get in passing
late
lanes.
Switch, and it's Tanner Hanks for three. They wanted to get Cuff away from Adams and then leave Hanks open for three.
I told our guys coming into the Pleasant Grove game, Hanks, the other guys might be on and off shooting, but if Hanks gets an open shot, he's going to make it. We got to get to him. He can really stroke.
And Mickelson going to pick up the foul.
How about Mickelson, a freshman? You kidding me? When I was a freshman, I was 5'4", 104 pounds at Lake Ridge Junior High, trying to make the freshman team. And this kid's out here. He looks like he's a senior, playing on the big stage and just going to be a really good player down the road.
And following in brother's footsteps, because Cale did the same thing moving down from Wyoming.
Noah's so tough on the post. Good D by Garrett.
Send back up top, Anderson on the angle. The flat-footed three again. Ashton Wallace.
Those are big-time shots. Those are big-time shots. Good for Wallace. That is just a big moment and the confidence to jump and shoot that.
So Yao Rainier comes back on as Wallace hits a three and comes off the floor. Hey, Coach, my hands are still hot. Come on.
I'm a little different. I get in these games and I don't sub a lot. It's kind of go with the guys in there, but getting these guys a rest can't be a bad thing.
Ryan knows more about basketball, or forgot more than I know. I don't think when he was shooting well, if he wanted to come off the floor and let the bench become the best defender, as Garrett throws that one away. And we'll go back down the floor with American Fork and see who steps up offensively for the Cavemen with Wallace off the floor.
I'll tell you what, AF is the deepest team in our region. 7-8 deep that are really good players, all 7-8 of them.
Remember, they're doing this without Aaron Dunn tonight. Haven't seen him on the floor. Coach, you talked about rolling his ankle.
Yeah, Aaron Dunn at Westlake, he won that game for him.
Sent out Anderson, short on the three, tipped around, and Garrett comes in to pull down the board.
AF's got 4 guys chasing those rebounds. They're going to be slow back.
McCaden, Euro and can't finish. And now the foul to Isaac Garrett. And on to Garrett, that'll be number 2.
You feel like PG, I know they hit the 3 with Hanks a couple possessions ago, but Coach, we've seen some turnovers, some lost opportunities. they tightening up, or what do you see here?
I think moving Yao onto McAdams, McCaden Adams has been a big adjustment. It's taken him away. Taking him away from the post, and Yao's just strong enough in there that he can't get in deep on, the posts and the drives.
Anderson, good defense and a closeout there by
Evan Young.
PG. Evan Young +1. The Bobby Hurley of Utah High School basketball.
That's a big play. Talk about great instincts to jump that pass. I thought the ball was tipped, but AF saves it, and then Evan Young jumps in there. Wow, what a great play by Evan Young.
So Young will go to the line for the +1.
I mean, the crazy thing is AF is just up 1. I mean, Coach, right now it feels like all the momentum with the Cavemen, and yet PG right in it. How do you try to get the Vikings a little bit more confidence here?
It'll be interesting whether Coach McAllister goes to one shot here or he plays. You're kind of in that in-between spot. Oh, he traveled.
McCaden got away with one there. Out with Hanks.
I think at this point, I probably take the last one and either go down one or up.
It'll be Adams going after Rainier. McCaden felt the pressure, got him off his feet. They're going to no call on the strip. Rainier with the ball. Timeout granted to AF. Great defensive effort for American Fork.
I think you're going to have a hard time posting Adams against Yao. I think you got to get to the 5-out and spread him out and try to beat him off the dribble. That was really good post defense right there, and Evan Young came over and got a piece of it.
22.9 left in the third. We'll take it with him. 36 final moments of the third quarter, and a 1-point lead for the American Fork Cavemen.
American Fork doesn't run a lot of set plays. They're more motion. So it'll be interesting out of the timeout whether Ryan draws something up. Pleasant Grove's going to go to the zone, 2-3 here. You got to get the ball high post or in the corner, short corner area.
Is this destined for Wallace?
I'm going to call a ollie 3 right here. I don't know if he'll make it, but I'm going to call it.
No, it's Tiger Cuff with the flyby. Cross court, Evan Young. Short on the 3. Moyaki had it stripped away, and that is how the third quarter will come to an end. We go to the fourth, and a 1-point game. There can be only one, and the winner will take on Corner Canyon. Fourth quarter coming up. American Fork leads 36-35. You watch the 2022 6A semifinals. Start of the fourth quarter in a great rivalry. Well, one of the two are going to move on to go play Corner Canyon in the Region 4 tournament known as the 6A championship game.
Back to man-to-man. Good adjustment going zone on that last possession.
So up top, Noah Moyaki. Noah on the drive to the rim, and it crawls in.
What a great drive. He made, he goes up over Garrett, who's got to be 6'7", 6'8", and just makes that look easy. What a great drive by Noah.
And see where PG's in turn.
Here comes a high ball screen.
He's sent out to Anderson and quiet since that first quarter, and Rawson going to pick up the foul.
Coach, you've talked about the defensive adjustment AF has made. So if Ya's going to continue to be on McAdams, where do you go?
PG runs great sets. I wouldn't be afraid to get some of my favorite sets in here. Otherwise, if you're going to go motion, you got to go 5-out and try to just give McCaden room to drive and cut.
How about Rawson doing the Karl Malone slap with 4 fouls, now draws the foul on Garrett. Be number 3 on Isaac Garrett.
I love Rawson. Look at him. That guy, he is giving everything he's got on that court tonight, and he is so fun to watch.
How does Aaron Beam not have him on the football team, Dane?
What?
Why does Aaron Beam not have him on the football team? Mama Rawson won't allow it? The Rawson's not playing football at AF.
We all look at everyone and think they should play every sport when they're as athletic as Rawson.
Here comes Yao Rainier, sends back out.
We're spreading it out here, Dusty.
We'll wait. Here comes Young. Spread out for Evan to go right to the rim.
What a great drive by Evan. Getting by his defender, and the help was late.
Raspberry.
To me, the difference right now, guys, has been moving Yao on McCaden. I mean, McCaden was hot, and Ryan made a great adjustment, and it's paid off big time.
You know, even to that point, I mean, look, there have been a couple shots that he's missed today, right? I mean, I can think of a couple right at the rim that he'd love to have back, but you talk about that adjustment. It has changed the game for both teams. That's been a huge, impactful evening for Ya on the defensive side.
Tell you what, Yao he's a tough, smart, tough kid. I would love to have 5 of Yao's on the court. You're gonna, PG's hanging on by a rope right here. They gotta dig and go to.
Took one up high on the screen underneath.
They gotta dig deep and really get what they want here. And if you've got a favorite set, you go to it at this point.
See if we can catch what happens here in Noah Moyaki on
Watch
the inbound.
21.
Right there at the elbow.
I don't know, guys. If we could get rid of the charge and the flops, I think basketball would be better, and the hand checks.
And back rim, the front end of 1-on-1, and Yao Rainier tracks that down.
That's a big-time rebound. That ball squirts loose like that. That's a tough one to get when you're the bottom guy because you're concentrating kind of on the rim in the middle.
Ollie Anderson hands off. Oh, and it's swatted away. McCaden Adams.
I told you, McCaden Adams is one of the best defenders in the state.
Anderson to the corner. Good close out there by Moyaki. Let's take a look at the play by Evan. Let's take a look at that last block.
You got to stay down on Garrett. You don't want to go for a shot fake. What a block. That was. I was about ready to comment how Young got straight to the rim without help twice in a row, and McCaden came out of nowhere.
And the free throw good. Is really glad Preston, the intern, got done with whatever he had of midterm stuff to get here and start running the replay machine for us.
Interesting, Garrett will shoot without a dribble. That's how I shoot now when I'm in there with my son. I tell him a penny a rebound, and I get my free throws in. Those are my dad's shooting drills.
Time out on the floor. We're going to take it to 6:06 left in the fourth. You're watching the 6A semifinals. Welcome back in. 3-point game. And we'll see what Coach McAllister decides to do here. Going to take up full court.
Coach Stoddard, my JV coach, always says if your point guard can't get open here, what do? You find a new point guard, and Evan Young gets open.
Is that the same coach that was also in that video we saw earlier?
He is. He's been my right-hand man for 16 years. He's the best.
He's your get-back coach. He got behind the chairs. And
he's the best.
Here comes Young in the backside there from Adams. And again,
the thing is, when you go to this spread game, refs don't call the fouls as close. So you'll notice they're not going to call bumps and fouls out front.
That's off of Yao Rainier, and that'll be Pleasant Grove ball.
Coach, I know we've talked a lot about, and they aren't stalling here, but they are kind of, elongating it. How often do you practice that kind of end game moments like this where it's like, hey, yeah, we're going to take a longer possession?
Oh, we do end of game situations day before every game. So Monday, Thursday, we would spend the last 45 minutes of practice working on everything from your spread to your traps to your getting a side OB in, getting a press break, all the stuff you need to win a game like this.
Wait, you guys practice 45-minute possessions?
With some teams, you wouldn't mind having it for that long, but reminds me of Valvano when they were playing Houston, and he said they weren't going to take a shot in practice for the first hour.
Yeah, left the ball at home.
Shot fake.
Garrett, there was just that moment where you had Adams at the top of the key.
He likes to cross over here and shoot the jumper.
Adams sent to the corner. Hanks, good close out there by Ollie Anderson. And the foul to Ollie Anderson, and that will be free throws here for Tanner Hanks.
It's the right call. It's the right call. You watch here, he does snap his head, but there's contact there. You got to call that. Dusty, you're thinking the other way, aren't you?
No, I thought it was fine. I'm on it.
Interesting here again. AF with 4 guards and a forward here. Getting his ball handlers in, his shooters.
As Hanks knocks down the first.
I would worry about the free throw rebound if I'm Ryan having this lineup in, especially on Adam's side. You know, we didn't rebound free throws very good this year. There were times where I was thinking, just make it. We almost lost that Copper Hills game on our free throws.
Right. Oh, he lips out the second rebound.
Great rebound, Ollie.
To Ollie Anderson. Anderson trapped in the backcourt. Send ahead, Rainier. Yao got to get across the timeline. That's like the play clock in football. Here comes Ashton Wallace.
I'll tell you, I'd be really conscious of Adams on these switches.
Inside, Ashton lays it in. 4-point game. Hanks gets right to the cup.
I love what Ryan Cuff's doing with his spread game. He does a good job of getting the 5 guys away from the basket, and it's hard to help. When that guy frees on a cut or a drive, you're a long way from getting to the help. And if they put the halo in under the hoop like Dusty wants, I know that's even going to be harder.
No charges under the hoop. We'll take the timeout with him. 4:27 left in the fourth. 4:27 left in the fourth quarter and a 2-point game.
I love this adjustment, doubling Evan Young.
Minton with the steal. Hanks. Oh, it's taken away. Sent ahead. Yao Rainier. Michael Minton, foul from behind.
There's an injury.
How about that sequence? Oh my goodness, Michael Minton with the steal and then tries to save it, the steal back. Oh,
you could argue intentional on that potentially. He's wrapping around the hips instead of going for the ball.
Yeah, you know, he clearly got beat and was just doing everything he can to make Minton make a couple free throws.
I'm not an advocate for that, right? But I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think his intent was clearly to foul.
As Minton hits the first. Man, Minton had a chance to tie the game up and a play down underneath the hoop. And we talk about all week long, unless you swing, you've not seen a lot of fouls at the rim. It's been the blue zone.
No, the refs don't like to call them if they can avoid it in these kind of games. Back to a 2-point game. I love this double team right here. You got a flash from the half court.
And just got that to Wallace. Amazing to think in the state championship team that Moyaki was one of the point guards.
Yeah.
He and Tanner Cuff as Moyaki sent out. Anderson not going to pull the triggers. We're halfway through the fourth quarter.
I like that right there. I'd get the ball out of Young's hands, make Cuff or Wallace, Yao beat you off the dribble.
That is the 16th foul on the Vikings, so it'll be free throws down the stretch for American Fork. Wow.
I can hear Peter Glon, the principal at AF, down there yelling for that foul.
Outside, Tiger Cuff. And they're going to spread this out. Coach McAllister wants to trap.
I like that. Now don't let him get it back, though. Yeah, you don't want, if you're going to double him, get it out of his hands. Don't let him get it back.
Young feeds Ashton Wallace. He lays it in.
I think we're going to see a 1-3-1 trap coming this next time.
Coach Cuff, I actually think he almost had an argument there. The referee was right on top. He thought it was an inbound violation.
Interesting. I didn't see that.
It was really close.
Going to the 5 out.
Garrett backing down Moyaki has to send up top to Minton. 2-possession game. Big, big moment. McCaden try to go to the Wade step back, couldn't get it. Pulls for 3, hit by Moyaki. And it'll be 3 free throws here from McCaden Adams.
That's a big play. I mean, that's a NBA 3 there, right? You know, be interesting to see the replay here.
As I was in the building, Moyaki got to his feet.
Yeah, he's definitely close enough that if the guy falls, he's probably going to get the call.
Somewhere Q Mesa right now is shaking his head.
Q Mesa is going to be a 2,000-point scorer.
Yep.
What a great player. I hope we don't see Cypress in the tournament next year, because that kid is going to be hard to beat next year.
And McCaden hits the first 2. Got one more as Mickelson comes on. Garrett comes off to get the fouls off the floor. He's got 3 personal fouls.
Don't you just love his poise, Adams? I mean, he just looks like he's in control. He's not even, I mean, there's just no stress in his body language at all.
Oh, they'll call that out of bounds. Minton was trying to save that.
Yeah, I think you gotta press, and then you gotta fall back into the trap. I'd give it a different look. You know, AF's got to the rim 3 or 4 times against your man.
Go full court to Cuff. Out of bounds, off of, oh, they'll say it off Tiger Cuff. And Ryan Cuff is absolutely beside himself, asking for help from the other side. We'll take a look.
Coach, any advice on protesting calls from officials?
Here's a look at it.
You know what? As a coach, I always love when they make those long passes. I'll take my chances if I'm Pleasant Grove on that pass.
I mean, the argument is Tiger Cuff is, what, 5'10"? And I can understand AF's perspective on that, but it won't matter.
Yeah, and guys, I'm telling you, the team's down 2, and it's a bang-bang play like that. It's going to the team that's trailing more often than not. And that, I mean, I hate the NBA replay where we spend the last 45 minutes for the last minute to watch every out-of-bounds play, because it's so hard to tell. But, you know, the good thing about this game is you got Nick Shields, who is one of the top officials in the state, on the call. And you know what? You live with it as a coach, and it's just so hard to tell.
So we got Thailand, 2:31 left at a 2-point game. And so take you into the mind of what do you think Coach McAllister's going to do here?
Coming out of here, If Adams has a post matchup, he's going to go to a cross-screen duck-in type look and try to get him a post touch. Or he'll go 5 out and curl him into the post. But Yao's been so good and physical defensively, I'm not sure he goes there. He could definitely try to get something quick and easy, like a slip with Garrett or a backdoor. And then, you know, if a lot of times out of a timeout, I'll say, we're going to go to the back door. If it's not there, then we'll reset, you know, or we're going to go to the slip if it's not there, where if you can get something easy, you take it. If not, you've got something ready to run. If they don't go with this, you know, something at the rim, then you just got to space them and hope you can take someone off the dribble. McAllister's the best on side OBs. Let's see what they go here. Probably a handoff back to Adams.
So Adams going to go into Hanks, get it right back. And one-on-one Rainier, and they get the switch to Anderson. No, Rainier sticks with it. Top to Garrett.
It's going down the post.
Isaac Anderson off his knee, saves it in, and it's Ollie Anderson with the steal. And it'll be American Fork ball.
Great play by Ollie Anderson. Ollie Anderson, you know, had some times this season where he didn't play as much, and to be in the semifinals with 2 minutes to go and make a play like that, credit to that kid. What a great basketball play.
And I've been waiting for this. Ollie at the line to help his team get to the championship. 2 free throws.
Oh, what a great shot. Those free throws are harder to make than you would think.
So I was saying that San Juan won on 2 free throws, down 1, and the kid made 2 free throws to win the state championship. I think I'd rather shoot the 3 than 2 free throws.
Derek DeVagere did that for us at Brighton against Jesse Wade in the semifinals. Got up there and hit 2 free throws to send us to the finals. And if I had another boy, I'd name him Derek, because I still am so happy for that those 2 free throws.
And just like in Hoosiers, Ollie makes both free throws. And it's a 4-point lead for American Fork.
Cross screen duck in, looking for Adams on that.
Up top, Adams. He's going to go at Yao.
What defense.
Yao
Oh
stuck
my gosh.
with him.
What
Sent back
defense.
up to Mitten. Michael Mitten on the drive on Wallace. Hangs. Oh, it just crawls off. Nearly got it to drop.
You know, I came into this game saying McCaden Adams was the best defender in the state. I'm not sure Yao isn't right there. Adams had 17 with about 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, and he's got 2 cents. Adams.
And their free throws.
Yao's been spectacular.
And Mitten short on the first.
You know, now you're getting into that time with how long do you go to wait to go for a foul. I still think defensively you want to be really patient if you're AF and keep trapping. Make them hold it for at least 45 seconds before you start fouling.
And Mitten goes 0 for 2 on the board to Ashton Wallace. And it'll be 1-on-1 free throws on the other end for Ashton.
This is why scoring's going to be down next year. Is you get the end of these games, it's like the Bingham Westlake game. There's a million free throws, and you know you're just next year where you have the shot clock. You don't foul there. You keep playing defense, which is actually going to decrease scoring. So if you want to deliver that Dr. Pepper now, Dusty.
No, I did the top 50 shirt scrimmages. More points.
There's also the best 50 players in the state, but that's cool, yeah.
Hey, who cares? You still got to shoot it. I believe in Utahns.
I mean, the All-Star game, you know, points aren't up there at all, so.
Hey, those guys want to show us they can play defense too.
This performance from Wallace establishes him as one of the best juniors coming back next year.
So the underclass, the juniors and sophomores, is just spectacular as that won't go. And it's Evan Young climbing the ladder to pull down the rebound.
He was trying to take a timeout. There was another official with a foul. We'll see where this ends up.
This is going to a timeout. You watch. If it's ever a 50-50 foul timeout, the refs are going to go timeout on that.
Look, if you don't have a future as a coach and you don't want to get into broadcasting, you can always officiate. Jeff Gardner's got everything down when it comes to basketball.
Dane's lost the name Eagle Eyes. They're belong to Jeff Gardner. 1:36 left in the fourth quarter. We'll be right back. Crunch time, 1:35 left. And AF has everything, including the possession arrow on the tight held ball.
You got to run a second guy.
And that's going to put Evan Young at the line. So we'll be 1-1 free throws here for Evan Young. And you don't know. Open end of the floor, corner canyon, center behind the hoop like Mick from Teen Wolf. And Evan off on the first. And a foul on the board on whom?
Moyaki, and that's going to be 5.
Wow. Big call.
And we will walk 98 feet to the other end for free throws.
I'm telling you what, if I'm Ryan Cuff, I do not want to play the last minute and a half without Noah.
Yeah.
I do not want to play the last minute and a half without Noah.
He's a Swiss Army knife with that team. And let's see if he goes with Tiger. Yep, there is Tiger going to come on. Let me speak about juniors, sophomores. We have a lot of freshmen.
For Pleasant Grove, 15, Riker Mickelson.
So Riker Mickelson, another freshman comes on.
We've got a freshman at Skyridge, Jordan Kohler, Jackson Kohler's little brother, who's going to be a really good player.
Free throw good from Hanks. Of course, Jackson was on AF last year, lost in the semifinals, committed to Coach Izzo and the Spartans. And Hanks makes the first.
Let's see if we double team that inbounder again on this press.
Got them both.
Yep, there's the double on Evan. What just happened there?
Yeah, that was a weird inbound.
So
that was they never were inbound.
Yeah, they did. I thought it was a legit inbound. They kind of snuck it. So Tiger ran down to baseline. They quickly stepped across and just handed it off to him, where very few people saw it.
I did not see it. It looked like Tiger just dribbled
Let's see
the
if we
ball
got
in.
it here. Watch this off this here.
Yeah, you're
We
too
missed
late.
the very front of it.
See anyone behind him? How did they throw the ball in?
Yeah,
I didn't
someone
think he
was.
did.
Someone was.
We'll see. We'll see on
Right
the
there.
inbound. Ashton
Wallace.
Wallace. His feet are in bounds.
Oh, so is that left foot down? That's the question. And it didn't look on there. It looked like the foot
Inbound.
came down, I thought.
That's Pleasant Grove ball. That's
That's
Pleasant
PG
Grove
ball. I agree. Both feet were down.
You got it. And, you're up 3. Get the ball in. Like,
Both-
what?
I
What?
thought both feet were down.
I just couldn't tell if the toe came off or not on that left foot. But, yeah.
Right-handed guy throws with his
Oh.
left foot down.
Yeah, you're not like trying to rush the ball up the court. That was.
But we haven't signaled yet. Okay.
If you're Yao right here, you have to make sure they don't go quick to McCade and Adams. If your head's not snapped, they'll throw that pass.
So I think they got this right. Pleasant Grove basketball.
America's play.
Oh, and it comes off. And it's a foul. We'll walk the other end with Evan Young. And it'll be double bonus free throws for Evan. That was nearly the Santiago bounce that knocked out Farmington.
You can't miss a shot closer than that. That was shot so beautifully and in and out. And then what a great rebound by Evan Young. Smallest guy on the court, scrapping and getting that rebound.
He hits 2 free throws.
While I'm thinking about it, how about a shout out to Doug Meacham winning the
Yes.
state title at Snow Canyon. You want to talk about a guy who you never wanted to coach against because he was so good. And those years at AF, they were always tough. So congrats to Doug.
And the free throw good. Goes 2 for 2, bouncing back from that miss. PG down 2 scores.
Still early enough. I think you go for a 2 and then a kick out 3.
Adams fouled on the 3, +1! McCaden Adams!
It's a flat screen, and Rawson does a good job contesting and getting up, but just a little too close, and what a shot. Hey,
Fifth.
A clear foul. Yeah, the fifth
Fifth
on
on
Rawson.
Rawson.
I don't know about clear foul, Dusty. I don't know.
I thought he might have kicked the leg out a
We'll
little
go
bit.
again. I'll
He
run it one
kicked
more
the
time.
leg out, in my opinion, but
We're going to have a timeout. I'll have a chance to show it again.
Rawson was up on him, which you have to because Adams is so good. But, I mean, what a big shot. You're down 5. This game's over probably if you miss that shot. What a shot. Regardless of the foul.
And the free throw good. 1-point game, 51-50.
I'll tell you what, I'm not. You can spread them out, but you still got to go try to score. It's too long to hold it.
Tiger.
Oh, don't foul there.
And Evan Anderson gives
What's
up
he
the foul.
doing?
You're going to put the freshman at the line. Hey, and if your name's Tiger and you're wearing red, you're expected to step up.
Except it's not a Sunday.
I don't foul that fast.
No.
Get a steal, make him have to break your press at least. You're going to be able to, if you want Tiger on the foul, you can get him later in the possession. But you got to go for some kind of a steal, I would think, first. But these are pressure free throws.
Young freshman, Tiger cuff, bounces the third. Oh, he's a sophomore. I kept missing that wrong, but it's off on the mark. And no matter what, it'll be a one-possession game and not having to shoot the 3.
All right, it'll be interesting if they go to that flat screen again if you're Pleasant Grove.
And Tiger goes 1 of 2. 52-50. And the layup is open.
Here it is, flat screen.
McCaden sends out to the big fella, Garrett, for the lead!
At the start of the fourth quarter, I said, where do you go with the defensive yaw? I had in my mind Garrett. He didn't have a great start to the fourth, had a turnover or 2, but how about the big man stepping up?
I'll tell you what, he hasn't shot a 3 all night. If he has, it was way early. to have the confidence to shoot. And, you know, what Coach McAllister does so well is his kids play with that confidence. And, you know, he didn't hesitate. He was in range and in rhythm, and that was in the heart, too. That thing, right when it left his hands, you knew it was probably down.
How about the turnaround? I mean,
right.
AF, it was always close, but it felt like they had all the momentum. I mean, it just felt like for 2 or 3 minutes there was nothing positive
And here's
for
the
PG.
big play.
And yet,
Again, Garrett right down the heart, and the play that led to it.
Interesting time to use your timeout if you're Coach McAllister. Now he's only got one left.
And there's there's Adams. Yeah, maybe not as clear as I thought at first.
hey, eagle eye here. We got the tactician here. Come on, Dusty, don't
I just
doubt.
wanted drama.
And part of that's, I've watched him play enough to know that he's going to do everything he can to draw that foul, kick his leg, snap his head, fall. And you know what? I tell our guys, it doesn't matter when they say, I didn't foul him. I said, it doesn't matter if you touched him. It matters what the refs call. And in that case, you're down 5. You're going to get the call if it's close like that.
So here we go, 55 seconds left. PG leading 53-52. Where does Coach Cuff go? And how long of a set do you run?
He's going to the
Can you go-
5-out dribble drive and trying to get space and let the guards take it to the rim.
Coach, how quickly do you attack here? Do you want the last shot?
Ollie
No.
Anderson got some space on the bucket.
No, you're going right away. Unless you're a big underdog, you're going right away, just like they did. Great call by Coach Cuff.
PG has one timeout remaining. Here goes Adams. To the rim, blocked away by Rainier. And it was out of bounds and will stay here.
Great defense. Yao, Rainier. Wow, he is just making every play on the defensive end.
And Dunn's going to check in here for AF. It'll be his debut tonight.
Interesting. That's an interesting time. I never like to bring a kid in for the first time in the second half. I feel like you want them in that first half to get their feet wet, and it'll be interesting having them. But with, you know, they need the size. And again, Noah Moyaki fouling out is a huge key here. You'd love to have Noah. PG's out of timeouts, which is, you know, if you're trailing here, you don't like to look up and see 0 timeouts. It's like our Copper Hills game. We were shooting 2 free throws here in the round of 16, and we purposely missed the second one with 3 seconds because they didn't have any timeouts. And we knew they were going to have to shoot the long shot.
By the way, I just have to, because this has been the talking point this week. Ole Anderson on that bucket, it was a jump stop.
Are you a jump stop guy?
He's saying the charge in the restricted area. They could jump stop and not
I
continue
have no
going to the
problem
rim.
with restricted area, but it's not there. And Dustin's like, what are you supposed to do? And I'm like, jump stop? I mean, you know.
Not be an
It is
athlete.
possible.
Don't be an athlete
I'm
and
with
worry about
ya.
a guy underneath the hoop.
I was never a jump stop guy because I had an 18-inch vertical as a player, so jump stopping, I had to score moving on the run, but if I had the athleticism of a lot of these guys on the court, I would jump stop. That's fair.
Here we go, be PG inbounding underneath the hoop. What an outstanding semifinal. Hanks to inbound. Big man outside.
Oh, slip. Had him on a slip.
Remember, no timeouts remaining for PG. Adams working on
That's
Young.
a foul.
Comes off the screen
That's
to
a foul.
Garrett.
That's a
And
block.
oh!
That's a block. That's a block. You can't jump in front of an offensive player.
We'll take a look at it.
He's not square. That's 100% a block. Let's see it. Maybe I'm wrong. 100% a block.
He's
Yeah,
already
I
going.
don't think he's there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
and he was already going. Cuff can't get that ball in. Timeout, American Fork.
yeah, guys. I don't think at that stage of the game, I don't think that's a charge, and you feel bad for Pleasant Grove that the call goes against, because this has been a really well officiated game.
We'll look at it one more time.
The hard thing is the official actually looks like he's going to call the block and then shifts to the charge. Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, it's, you know, you talk about pressure on players and coaches. There's pressure on officials. Like, these are tough. That's a tough call right there. And you know, but again, we've got 3 of the best here doing it, so.
And how about the wherewithal of Evan Young? You talked about a guy who's confident, right? I mean, who has the guts to make that play defensively in a moment where it's double bonus, right? Like, it's a 1-point ball game. I mean, he's just, and I know that's not a free throw call, but I'm just saying, like, you got the gumption to do that. Like,
who has 1 personal foul? You put the
you got to
ref in
foul.
bind.
You got to foul quick right now. You can't let any time go.
Anderson, and now the foul.
Because again, you don't have a timeout, so you're going to have to play on the fly here. And 6 seconds is not a lot of time. You got to just get the ball in Adams' hands. I always tell my guys a second a dribble. So with 6 seconds, either a quick advance or get 6 dribbles and try to.